Hi everybody, my name is B and today I want to talk about how biodiversity loss could potentially take seafood off of the table. Many of us are aware of the health benefits of seafood. Take little neck clams, the star of clam chowder. They're packed with nutrients like phosphorus, selenium, manganese, and iron. They also have omega-3 fatty acids, which research shows has the potential to reduce our cardiac health risk, improve neurological function, and even mitigate certain types of cancer, though that last one is up for debate. If you add in some other ingredients like root vegetables, celery, dairy, herbs and seasonings, and other forms of protein, you have a balanced meal packed with several essential nutrients. This is a penguin. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, what does this have to do with people that want to eat seafood? Well, a lot more than you may think. Humans and penguins both share a love of seafood. If I were to ask you how many kinds of fish and other seafood, a kind being sardines, shrimp, and so on, both penguins and us eat, how many would you guess? 5, maybe 7? Well, as it turns out, we share pretty much all of them. Sardines, herring, squid, clams, crabs, octopi, krill, and anchovies. That's 8 groups right off the bat. The point is, humans and sea life share a lot of the same food. However, the sharing doesn't come without its struggles. We harvest seafood a lot faster and a lot more of it than animals can catch up and eat on their foraging trips. And on top of that, corporate greed leads to us prioritizing food over wildlife. This often leads to us having a lot more food collected than we leave behind for them, and leads to massive problems for wildlife health. All living things are connected by what we call food webs. Think of it like a mind map that shows what eats what in the animal kingdom. When humans come into the picture, they can often lead a species to decline or disappear, leading to what we call a trophic cascade. A great example of this is elk in Yellowstone when humans removed wolves and how the elk overgrazed the park, almost getting rid of all the willow and aspen stands. For us humans, these cascades can mean that our seafood runs out because these areas no longer are able to sustain themselves in the ocean due to overharvest. Not only that, but due to how interconnected things are, a food web collapsing in South Africa could lead to a collapse in Europe or Antarctica because of how currents make nutrient cycling such an interconnected effort. Alongside that, economically, markets dependent on fish would collapse and people would need to find new jobs. Those who sustain themselves on fishing would need to find a new career and find new ways to feed their families. With all this being said, what can you do? Well, vote with your dollars. Live by the ocean? Look for local shops that sell fresh cut seafood. If you're landlocked, consider buying frozen fish, so long as it has a blue Marine Stewardship Council label, which means that the products in the packaging are wild caught and done so in a sustainable manner. Most importantly, the one thing that I want you to take away from this is that you are not the problem. Big industries are. If you are in a financial situation where these aren't options for you, that's okay. If you're like me and you still feel like there's something you need to be doing, go spread the word about this issue. Help educate others. Learn more about the topic. Go volunteer. These are all things you can do for free that, if you're like me, help with the environmental guilt. I want to thank you all for watching this, and I hope that you are able to go and enjoy some sustainable seafood for the penguins.